Here's how to make better use of the empty space beside the fridge. I measured the width and height of the available space, then transferred those measurements to a sketch of what I had in mind. I gathered up some lightweight 1.5-inch cedar strips or lath material, then started cutting the wood to size. After a light sand, I cleaned off the table, then reached for Fusion Stain and Finishing Oil in Golden Pine. This is a brush-on, wipe-off product with a built-in top coat, which makes it super easy to use. The stain was brushed on the front and both sides of all the wood strips, then wiped off. You can speed up the staining process if you bunch the strips together, then brush all the stain all at once. After allowing the wood to dry overnight, I started to build the framework first according to my plan. Wherever the wood was to join, I pre-drilled holes, then screwed the wood together using copper-toned screws. You can also put this together using a nail gun if preferred. I just prefer using screws so it's easy to make modifications if desired. After I dry fit the framework in the kitchen to ensure it fit, I started to lay out all the wood strips on top of the frame for a slatted wood appearance. Each strip was pre-drilled, then screwed into the framework. Even though these boards are very lightweight, the extra wood strips help strengthen the frame. Not desiring to screw into my cabinet sides, I flipped the boards over, then applied heavy-duty Velcro along the top, middle, and bottom of the structure so it could be removed if desired. This also makes this project rent-friendly too. Then flipped over again, I arranged and reached for 2 rows of dollar store hooks I previously spray painted black, attaching them in place with screws. Hanging the mugs first helped their positioning. I then positioned the rack against the fridge, pressing along the Velcro strips to ensure they attached well. Then after loading up the hooks and putting coffee pods in the cup, my new coffee station wall is well organized and ready for a fresh brewing session. I can't believe how much this fridge organizer improved the look of the space.
Run down to the hardware store and grab a stick of oak. This is a 1x2 by 9 foot long. Also going to get some of these command hooks. They're great and non-permanent. I have this end piece on my cabinet on the top and the bottom, and I know there's something I can do with it. First thing I'm going to do is measure my cabinets, and I'm going to make a couple of marks at 31 inches. I'm going to cut 2 of these boards at this size. If I need to go ahead and sand the edges, I'll do that. The next 2 are going to be the top cuts, and those are going to be cut at 20 inches and 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and join those up, but first I want to put some glue on the end. That's going to make this joint super strong. So all it takes is a little glue on the end, and then I'm going to use some brad nails. 2 of those inside will work just fine. Once I get those all done, it's a strong joint. No worries about it breaking. And I'm going to size up all 4 of them. I'm going to put a railing down the middle. I did run out of oak, so I had to use some pine wood. Once I get that done, I'm going to go up about 5.5 inches and measure across because I'm going to put a railing on. Again, I had to use some pine wood for this. And once I get that on, it just takes 1 brad nail on each side to hold it together. Now, once I got those on and it's super strong, I need to use some pre-stained wood conditioner. When you're using pine, it's a soft wood, unlike oak, which is a hardwood. When I go to stain the pine, it's going to be all blotchy. So only on the pine do I need to take this pre-stain and put it on. It doesn't take much, just 1 little dip was able to do the whole thing. Let this dry about 30 minutes and then come back and we're going to stain it. Now, my cabinets had kind of an orangey color to it, so I went with a maple look. I could have gone with pecan, but maple seems to be the closest match. I'm going to cover all the sides of the boards, make sure I get the oak and the pine and all the ends. Now it's time to hook it up, put it together. Look at that color, it matches pretty good. I'm going to use just a few of those brad nails that go through the boards and into the cabinets, and it's going to hold it on. Once I get all of those on and it's ready and adhered nice, I'm going to take those command strips. They're easy to use. You just got to peel off the back on one, put it on the hook, and then make sure it's nice and secure, and then peel off the other edge. Then you can take it and put it on the cabinet. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 of these on, and they're actually really great. They stick good. They're also removable and not permanent. Now take your family cookbook or any book that you like, put it in there. I'm going to use some of those oven mitts. That's what that railing was all about. And then I'm going to use those command strips and hooks to put on some of the utensils that I use the most. And I tell you what, this thing turned out so well. And the color matched so good, it almost looks like it was built in. I think it turned out great, and I'm actually really happy with it.
If you are short on kitchen cupboard space, consider picking up a few dollar store wall-mounted wire racks to make this productive and cool idea. I'm outfitting the size of the racks to 3 reclaimed wood boards I already had in my stash. Now I'm measuring and cutting all the boards to the same length using a miter saw. To create some support boards, I'm selecting a lightweight cedar strip and cutting 2 strips to the width of the 3 boards. I'm placing each cedar strip across the 3 boards, then marking 2 screw holes over each bottom board. Moving the cedar strips to a piece of scrap wood, I'm using a small drill bit to create pilot holes into each of the penciled areas. Pre-drilling holes before screwing reduces the potential of the wood splitting. Flipping over all the larger boards, each cedar strip is being positioned near the top and bottom of the boards, then screws inserted into each hole, which helps make install easier. The screws are being inserted slowly using short bursts to reduce the potential of the wood splitting. Flipping the 3 boards good side facing up, I'm now designing what I will use this project for by selecting a stencil theme. Deciding on a coffee theme, I'm arranging a fresh coffee stencil from Funky Junk's Old Sign Stencils and the hooks to verify all the placements desired. Desiring a rustic coffee crate vibe, I'm selecting Coal Black by Fusion Mineral Paint for the stenciling. Desiring the racks to be black, I'm placing them on butcher paper, then using a metal-friendly black spray paint to cover them from all angles. This high-heat black grill paint dried super fast and left a gorgeous durable matte finish. I'll certainly be using this again. Attaching the wood boards onto the wall, I'm using a construction level along the top and the sides to ensure the position is completely level. Before attaching the bottom hooks, I'm hanging a mug on the hooks to ensure the mug will hang within the wood frame. Now I'm marking the hole and attaching the hooks with screws using a level once again. I'm now using a ruler to help position the next 2 hooks evenly, and you are left with the handiest and coolest mug hanging rack possible. Each hook costs just over $1, making this a very price-efficient yet quality piece that will style up your coffee space to the hilt. And with all those decadent hooks, there's plenty of space to hang mugs, your coffee, or anything else desired. This same concept could be used to hang garden tools, art supplies, or pots and pans. The sky's the limit.
The one thing I didn't like about my cupboards is how stuffed and crammed they got, but I had a solution. First thing I want to pick up is a mop rack, and they are going to be perfect. I'll need 3 of these. Next, we're going to get some mop handles. Just the handles, that's all we need. On the rack, what you want to do is on the hook, you want to bend it forward. That way it goes directly against the wall and doesn't stick out too much. You can use a pair of pliers or your hands. Just get it as straight as possible. Next, what we're going to do is paint. Just some black spray paint will do the job. Now, this is a great time to teach a lesson on spraying. We want to use little bursts and not too much at a time. Spray paint likes to run. So, to keep it from dripping, we want to make sure we just do small, even little coats. If it takes 2 or 3, that's fine because spray paint can dry pretty quick. So once you get this on there, it's good. Now, on the handles, we don't want to cut off the top. We want to cut off the bottom with the screw end. So what we'll do is mark it exactly the length we want, and we're going to use a metal saw because these handles are metal. When you're cutting metal, you want to use a good blade that's used for metal and go slow. Once you get it cut all the way through, just snap it. It'll come right off. This is not the thickest metal, so it's good to snap. Next, we're going to lay out our 2 pieces. Remember, we measured and cut them already, and then we're going to take the first rack, and that's going to get us our width. We're going to put the first one all painted at the top. We're going to put the next one in the middle, a few inches down, and then the third one will go at the bottom. The way we're going to join these to the handles is we're going to use black zip tie. Just go ahead and put it around the top, put it in, and you're going to pull it tight. We're going to do this to both sides and cut off the excess. This is the other side, and we're going to put that on too. Now, I made sure that I put 2 on each side on each rack. That gives it enough friction to where when we load it, it won't fall down. Once you get it cut, twist it around the back. Now, on the screws for the wall, you want to actually leave them sticking out a little bit, not all the way against the wall, because we're going to take those handles and slip them right on there. Next, it's time to decorate. I thought a little bit of plates and some coffee mugs would look great. But there's one thing, it just didn't look right to me. I knew there was something else I could do. So what I did was added some greenery, and look how amazing that turned out. I just love it. You can put as many or as few on there as you want, and absolutely turned out great and took out a little bit of that excess clutter in my cabinets. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did making it, and what an addition to the side of the wall and to our kitchen. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll see you next time.